What's going on, everybody? Ooh, these markets. Cold here. We're almost in winter. I tell you what, winter is coming for the markets right now. Guys, I'll see you very soon. Enjoy the intro, and then we'll get stuck in it. Also, PLTR is scary. Oh my goodness, guys, I need a coffee to do tonight. Federal budget out here in Australia. Lots of things going on. And the stock market getting obliterated. My goodness, these hyper stonks are bad, aren't they? Let's talk about that and more throughout. How's everyone doing? I need a drink. Might be 10 o'clock at night, but, you know, that's what you need to do sometimes. US 100, I've got it on the chart here. Oh, we had a feeling yesterday, guys. We had a bad feeling, that sinking, terrible, you know, bearish kind of action going on with these nasty wicks with the QQQ opening where it did. And unfortunately, our worst fears came true. The fall occurred even faster than you always expect. Now, what happens on the S&P 500 will be very important. We'll talk about those levels very soon. Silver liner puts in flying away money. That's probably true unless you're in puts, and then you're doing quite well. Look, guys, we knew that May was going to bring some action. We knew that because, of course, we saw how far away we were from the 20 moving average on the weekly. We also knew that when technology got through here, it was going to have a bit of a problem. And it's been playing very, very sneaky with us. It had that kind of pull down, pick up, movement down again. And this is what Wall Street does. And it's not across the board. As we've seen, some companies are doing okay. Some companies aren't doing okay. It's more of a targeted attack on tech and tech stocks. So Doge a lot says, hodl the line. That's right. We need to hodl the line at this point. Sarah Jane says, I have ARK K. I think my ARK has capsized. Your ARK has a hole. It's lost a few animals. They've fallen out. Only half the animals are still in the ARK, Sarah. I'm sorry to tell you. Only half the animals have survived. But maybe they'll come back as mutant animals and you'll do really well. 501 viewers joining us. Thanks so much, guys, for coming in today. Let's just quickly get started here. Let's go straight into this technical analysis because I think we need to talk about the SPX. Let's get off these charts for a second. Let's talk about this US 500. So we see here 41.55. You know how close we are. SPX, that's where we're looking at today. And we're going to scroll straight in on the daily here. And then we're going to get down to smaller time frames. So I know this is going to show 41.88. On the right-hand side, you can see the US 500 is actually 41.55. Now, if we get past 41.20, what have we been talking about in this channel? 41.20, 41.20, 41.20. It's super key. It's super key because this zone here is pretty much the last level of support that we have on the S&P 500 before some serious pullbacks. Where could those pullbacks come back to? 39.83, 4,000 for sure. Seems very likely. That's another 120 points. What does that mean for the Nasdaq? We'll take a look at that soon because this is going to be a Nasdaq-led sell-off. And while it didn't quite hit our community trend line, let's just zoom this out. So we'll get our community trend line. We'll extrapolate that out. Boy, oh boy, did it get close. And I think actually if we probably went to the futures, what did the futures get to? Did we hit a 42.45? Let me have a look here. Oh, yeah, we hit a 42.45. Okay, so it was very, very close. I think it's all about the 4120. What do you guys think? Where do you think the bears truly regain control of the S&P 500? Probably the most important indicator. But again, notice previous resistances will act as support here. And why do we have this line here, guys? Because it's not even about this zone. It is about you switch over straight to the weekly, bang. What's going to be there? 20 exponential moving average. What are Wall Street like doing? They love it, guys. The algorithms, little sneak bots, they're sitting there, they're licking it up, they're eating it all, and they're taking all of our money. And they like the 20 moving average. They bought it here, they bought it here, they bought it here, they bought it here, and they generally like to buy it through previous years as well. This is called the mean reversion kind of area, and that's why they use it. 20 is the best moving average in the market, bar none, as always. We've got Stan Lee coming in here with a $3.99 donation for a coffee. Thank you very much, Stan. I will take another sip. I need it. Oh, yeah. That was good. Thank you so much, Stan. Appreciate that. Let's just quickly read a few of these. I'm bleeding with the US 100, says Ismail. Sorry to hear that, sir. Marcus Horn says SHIB with a rocket underneath it. Yes, I saw SHIB is going all right. Triple T Rock says Talcoin is Noah and you'll be all right. I like that kind of analogy. Is pretty funny. My Mara had a great Q1 and is still taking a dump, says Darth Diamond Hands. Doesn't really matter too much about, it looks like, the fundamentals here. I think what we need to do is we need to realize that this could be one of two things. So it could be just a correction where, again, we pull back after a large move that happened through the S&P 500 and tech still kind of sideways, and we continue down that line of our original thought process. Now, do I have my March? I don't know if I've got my March drawings up here. Let me see if I move them over a little bit. Where are we? Got a lot of drawings up here, guys. And I can't remember what I kept and what I didn't keep. What is this? Oh, that's not the one. That's not the one. You know the one I'm talking about, though. It's, of course, the May pickup and then the May sell-off that actually was in 2010 after the global financial crisis. We've been following a very similar trajectory, and that trajectory really said, I'll just draw it. Let me draw it on the screen. So we'll draw it over here. So basically it had going up into May coming down a little bit through that April-May area, making a new high, selling off, not hugely selling off, but definitely selling off, multiple percentage points, about 8%, and then picking up, selling off again to the same level, and actually not recovering till an August-ish July period. So we saw some time before the next recovery was in. Is that what we're actually looking at here in the markets? I tend to think, yes, we are probably looking at some pretty significant rebalancing that's occurring, something similar to every other year. Who shared it in the community? Let's see if I can get this one up. Who sent me this? There was a really cool share the other day. Let me see if it's in the, by the way, guys, I kind of like this meme. I'll put this one in tomorrow's intro. I'll just leave that up there for a second while I grab this other bit of information for you all, because I think it's a really solid bit of info. Let me see if I can pick it up. It's too funny. It's kind of like the truth of what has happened through the previous kind of couple of weeks in terms of where we're at. Now, let me see if I can find this. Ah, here it is. Shared by Kevin. Blurry chart. Blurry. Oh my God. You'll go cross-eyed looking at this, but it's a cool, important chart. And it kind of makes me think where we're going. So this is 2003 low. Let me see if I can... I can't even make it any better. Oh, there you go. Maybe slightly less crappy if we view it from that angle. So we've got 2003 low. And then this recovers. That's last year. Okay? Then we get a slight down followed by a back end strength. Okay, that's 2003 crash. Let's now talk about the 2009 crash, where, of course, monetary policy came into the thought process. Monetary policy came in. We saw that huge recovery, which was pretty large. And again, we've had it similar this time. Then the 2010 market started strong, followed by declining market, followed by a strong back of the year. Now, I've always thought this is kind of what this year is going to be. Now, you'll notice that the strong peak at the start is kind of like where we end. So we've got those two peaks. We've got the peak at the start and the peak at the end. and the market actually fully recovered. However, it wasn't really like, it took until the next year after that to really start making more ground. I tend to think we're in this type of sideways movement. And this is what happened in 76. Recovery, slight decline throughout the year. 1982 low. Recovery, slight recovery into the back of the year. Now, notice that middle of the year always tends to be not great for investment, or at least sideways. And I think that's where you have to pick your sectors. We've been talking about the sectors a little bit here: materials, energy, those super cycle sectors. They probably will do well. Healthcare will come into its own near the end of the kind of this slump. That's the type of thing. What do you guys think? Do you reckon this is what is happening? I think the best thing I can pull out of these charts is really that we're going into a sideways year of neutralized returns from what we've already seen. Now, some of you may disagree with it, but I think it's a great chart, and I think it's well worth paying attention to, because it's just too historically significant. Almost every drop has been followed by a strong recovery, sugar rush, sideways action. And remember, this year is also a year where we're going to see taxation come in. Now, I don't talk politics, but obviously taxation will be changed, and that is going to affect the markets as well. So we'll go back over here to have a look at the US 100, and we'll just quickly answer Franklin Matthews' question here as well. Last $2, Tom, apps, digital turbine. All right, thanks, Franklin. I'm not sure if that means you've got that's the last $2 left, and everything else is YOLO'd in the market, but we'll have a look at that soon. Apps, digital turbine, we'll check it out. Doggy Zipline says agree, sideways and choppy. Interesting. Arc next talks of SHIB going to Robinhood, says Sherlock Holmes. SHIB will probably end up being in every single one. You saw today CoinSpot here in Australia added SHIB. Basically, all of these cryptos are literally going towards being in almost all of the markets. And that's really what you're trading. You're trading this hype of, some people will just use Binance, some people just use BlockFi, some people just use Square or whatever else they use. Now, they probably won't just use Square because you can just buy Bitcoin, but effectively they'll just use one broker, and unless it becomes available, they won't trade it. So that's why the crypto market, it obviously trades off that hype. And we'll get into the crypto market in a few moments. JT Raj says, sorry, don't have any dollars left to donation. Wall Street stole my profits from the last 6 months. They are nasty. That's right, JT Raj. That's okay, man. I appreciate your support just being here. So Nasdaq had 3 red weeks in a row, Will S said. Yes. Now, there is another interesting chart that I want to show you from this perspective. This was shared with me this morning, and I was going to put it in the video, but then I thought, I'll save it for you guys. Here we go. Okay, so we need to put things like this in perspective. So here is the stats around Nasdaq Composite after a 2% loss day, and the DJA, so obviously the Dow Jones closes at all-time highs. So what this happened, it only happened really once before, and what you'll notice is that there's still a positive correlation, but there's a very interesting stat here. And what is that? That we do have a regaining point, but then we have another negative point, and then we have a boost coming through that 3, 6 month, 1 year kind of cycle percentage. So you actually still will see growth, but notice there is a point here for the next couple of months that we actually expect sideways action, even with this stat. So almost all of the stats, and this is not that big a data case, are saying sideways action for some time on the markets. So if we're looking at the S&P 500 today, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for probably further drop. And that's because I expect the market to come back. It's very unlikely that a market will be sitting here at 4150 and it will stop at this zone. It will most likely try to test this 4130, 4120 zone. Now, if it finds buying pressure here, which I expect it should find some buying pressure here, this could be where we return back to finding the bulls. If I was a day trader into this market, that's the type of thing that I would have been looking for, a short into around this zone. Obviously, I'd take a little bit early. That's the type of thing I do. And then I would expect buyers to come in here. Now, if bears come through this point, expect a relatively quick sell-off through, confirmation, then a pickup to this level. And when a pickup happens to this level, the previous supports should act as resistance, and then we see that sell off that should go to the weekly 20. So this is what I think I'll put in tomorrow's video. If we see this kind of price action, if we see a closure below 41.20, this is what I'm thinking that will happen to the market, and it will affect every single stock. There'll be very few stocks that won't go red if we get through 41.20 and then continue on down through here. So we're not quite at that point where I think this particular S&P 500 has gone bearish, but that is what I'm looking at. Now we switch over to the Nasdaq, and you can see the Nasdaq's already well through that 13.3 level. Now there's a couple of learning experiences I guess I'll always put in here. See how the market stopped before the 13.3? Because it did that, when it came down with such aggression yesterday, it was unlikely it would hold the 13.3 level. That's like catching the falling knife. And you guys can chuck those emotes in the room if you'd like to for this one. Because when that level got reached, hit it, it breached it instantly, because the real support that it broke was the 13.4 at this point. The 13.4, which was here. Now we're in a really catch-22. I would expect today not to be actually this bad. So it's either going to really sell all the way down to this zone here, like 12,750 very quickly, or what I usually expect is a recovery through the session and for it to actually come up and either test 13.3 or 13.4 from the bottom up. Now, whether that happens through today's session or it happens through Wednesday's session, this is just my expectation. I actually expect it to close down here and then try to make a recovery. It's that 2 steps down, 1 step back, 2 steps down, 1 step back kind of market. That's swing trading effectively. That's the way that markets generally try to take money from retail traders. Excuse me. So they always try to take it this way. They create this sense of recovery, and then we get that kind of course, sadness that happened. Just like over here, they create a sense of recovery, and we were kind of onto it yesterday with the Nasdaq, checking that out. Now, if you go to QQQ or NDX, you're going to see it more clearly here. Where did it stop yesterday? Right around, just around that kind of supporty zone. So today it's going to open well underneath. I expect it to make a recovery at some point, whether that's today's session or tomorrow's session, should find some recovery buying. And then, of course, this to be the point where the bulls and the bears fight it. And if the S&P 500 gets through 41.20, yes, I do expect us to unfortunately move down to the 310 level on the Nasdaq. Unfortunately, more pain could be there in the markets. SPY will open below 412, says Mike Morgan. That's pretty low. I mean, it's possible. It's only 20 points away. So if it opens underneath that level, that would be very, very interesting. As a quick test for the community, where do you guys think the market's going to open? Give me your level right now. Guess it. 41.43 currently. Do you think it's going to be a 41.50 by the market open, which is 1 hour and 10 minutes away? Do you think it's going to be 4,120 right on the support? Give me your guesses. Let's see what everybody thinks is going on. Now, as we do that, we've got to answer some of these quick super chats. So one of them was from Franklin Matthew. They wanted apps digital turbine covered. Let's just quickly do this one. That is unfortunately broken through the support. Now, I believe we've covered this one before. Yeah, we did cover it for you, Franklin. And our aim was, after seeing this nice bullish action here and all these wicks, to see that slight follow through. And we didn't quite get a confirmation close or any kind of follow through after this bullish movement that was significant enough. Unfortunately, last week ended very bearish. And this is unfortunate because with a closure like that, what you start to talk about is how low do we go? That is not a good closure. I'll probably take this distance here as the channel because I think that's the cleanest one. We've got resistance, support, at least 2 touches each side. 2 touches really important for channel pattern formation structure. And then we want to price this up. And this, unfortunately, is kind of predicting like a $45 range. Now, if the market continues to fall, that would be the expectation. I think it probably stops somewhere around this 50-ish, though, and finds some heavier buying. And the reason why is because there is a 200 simple moving average here on the daily. It hasn't hit that before, but yeah, somewhere around here. somewhere around in this zone, right through that 50. Otherwise, we could be going to a 45, and it should stop somewhere in that $5 range, find some structure, and then hopefully move on up for you. Yeah, that's the completion. That's what I'm looking at. This is a very nasty closure below, followed by a pickup that wasn't able to break back above the 68-ish zone. That means that, yes, the bearish momentum is in play on this stock. We've also got Nikal Sharma, $100 or 100... whatever that is, man. Thank you very much. Hi, Tom. Can you please look at Britannia on the National Stock Exchange, NSE? Okay. Britannia. I actually haven't looked at a few of these stocks recently. I've got an interest in a market over here. So I will actually want to look at the Nifty as well, even tonight. I might load that up. I haven't loaded it up myself today. I've just been so busy. So here we've got the resistances. We've got the supports. You can clearly see that we had a massive rally there, followed by a big dump that's brought it back down to this level. I think this is really the zone that you're looking at here for this Britannia durable food candy company, it looks like, based on what I'm reading down here on the bottom right. This zone is the key area. You're actually looking for something similar to last time. So similar to last time, this is a weekly. If we go to a daily, you're going to notice a lightning bolt that occurs here. It's a great trade as well. So you've got a trough off support, you've got a peak, you've got some coil, and then you make a new peak followed by a pullback. This actual pullback is a Delissimo trade. That is a great trade. I would take that type of trade and I would do it time and time again because it's solid. You're also seeing here that the 3,500 is clearly a very important zone for this thing. So let's say it comes down, hits that, breaks back up, and then breaks through 3,500. I think that's probably the participation phase, and the market will move to the next zone, and the next zone is clearly this resistance, which is around 3,800. So there's some nice trading here. I like the chart. The chart's obviously acting technically. It just needs to hold, and there's clearly around an 8.7-ish% return percentage move if it can get from back above this 3,500. I think that's a very important zone. Look for the peak, the higher trough, etc., etc. That's the sequence that we want here on this stock. Thank you so much, Nickel. And it is at support at this point. So good luck on that one. Verified News says, glad I sold Ford yesterday. Yes, there was a lot of companies, unfortunately. If you hadn't sold them, you were in the deep. Now, I'm going to do something here, guys. I'm going to load up the futures. I haven't looked at the futures. There's 1,400 viewers right now. Remember, smash that like and subscribe if you enjoy the stream, guys. We cover this every day of the week, stock market and crypto, and we'll get over to crypto eventually. But today is stock market, most likely. And we'll load up the Webull. Okay, click the link down below if you're interested in joining Webull and getting free stock. And let's just click this pre-market. Oh my God. Okay, this is just the speculation side. Oh my goodness. Mara down 18%, guys. Riot Blockchain down 17%. That's how much froth is in these markets, because it's not Bitcoin's price that took these ones down. Palantir. Oh, guys, the earnings. I haven't read the earnings, but it is out this morning. I'm sure someone is, 1640. It shows you that when that level was broken, that technicals hold up. Unfortunately, I see Palantir down to 15 now before it finds heavy support. That's the type of thing that will go on. We'll check out the chart. Very, very nasty stuff. We scroll through. The only thing that's green is AMC, and it's still under $10. So there's very little in the speculation. Now let's go over to the big companies. Let's click the button together. I've got my eyes. I need a coffee. I need a sip. I'm going to lose some money today as well. Don't worry. Let's have a look here. Okay. Got the greens. Honeywell. Amgen. Pepsi. SodaStream. I'll drink some SodaStream as well. Okay, I supported that stock. Now, let's click it. Oh my God. It's bad, boys. 7.5% Tesla down. 582. It actually is bashing through the 600. Harry, are you out there? Have we got the defib on Harry? Harry, you there, man? If you don't know who Harry is, he's a guy that is always in the stream. He loves Tesla, and unfortunately today is not the best day. Few put holders though for Tesla in the community. Then we've got Roku 6%, we've got Airbnb down 5.67%, Twilio 5.43%, Square 5.29%. That's coming into support soon. 200 is the support for Square. Then we've got Coinbase. Just wow, even that's getting obliterated. But they actually had a great day on it when it went to 293. So Coinbase trading more with Bitcoin price than anything else, I think. And then the rest, it's all big red, negative, nasty looking things. So it's not suspected. We were always going to see a big red day like this. But yeah, Tesla out in front, 7.5. What does that mean for the stock? Let's click it. All right. It's bad. 582 is not a good price. We suspected 600 was incoming. Today, better rally for Tesla because 582 is very, very close to the 200. In fact, is it the 200? No, very close to the 200 simple moving average here. 200 simple moving average. And if it gets through even the 600 today, I'm worried for Tesla. I know last time I was surprised it even pulled off this 550. I feel that if this sell-off continues to happen, that Tesla could go back into the 450s, 500s. Now, some of you will say, I hate that. Like 500, 450 is the next level. This is the only place there's actually structure on Tesla stock. And there's not much holding it up. Like when it rallied here, this is what I'm looking at. See this weekly? This is actually all I'm looking at. I'm laser focused for you Tesla guys on this particular chart. $600 means more than just the price. It also has never been closed down against on the weekly. We've seen breaches. We have never seen a closure underneath 600. So I think that if we get under 600, we're going to 450. That's what I think. Guys, what do you think? Let me scroll back up here and also see some people's calls here for today. Derek 4 with 1,000,000 zeros says, Harry, are you okay? Exactly. Oh my God. I feel bad, man. But he'll be back. Don't worry. When it goes back, when Tesla goes back to 700, 800, Harry will be back in the stream. He'll be around and he'll be alive again. There was a pretty funny meme in the, I think Sid made a pretty funny meme today for him. So it seems like most people thought crash on the SPY and it's going down. 41.30, 4,000 Big Dipper said. Wow. Big Dipper, you really think a lot can happen in an hour. Big Dipper's calling like a 100-point crash. 41.20 Andy, 41.40 Sarah Jane, so around where it is. 41.25, 41.20. This is for the SPY. Yes, they're all moving. So everyone's kind of thinking 20 points, except for Big Dipper. He thinks that it's going down 140 points from here in the next 1 hour, which would be pretty nuts. Fred Back says Tesla to 375. Just Julia agrees with me about Tesla. Michael Carney says 467. Joanne says dead. I guess that means zero. Nurala says 250 Tesla. 450-ish says DVO official. 420 baby. Hey, 420 could be the meme, the level. Yeah, that could be the level. I'm more just focusing on these closures. So this is what actually got bullish, me really bullish last time on Tesla when this occurred. So we had all these closures and then all of a sudden you get this big bullish candle that comes out on the weekly and this spurns huge amounts of trade. If you ever want to say what I think the most important chart is when you're charting up indices, you're charting up stocks, weekly. It's slow, it's boring, but it's the most important for actually being more correct. Now, if I just sat there and looked at weekly charts and we didn't ever talk about 1 hours, 4 hours, and dailies, we'd actually be more statistically correct about our picks each way. And that's because these charts really do matter. Let's just quickly go over here. We've got Dorman 80, Super Chat $4.99. Tom, Tesla puts, or am I too late for the game since everyone is piling into puts? Probably too late, man. Premium will be out of this world. Now, when you're doing puts, Droman, the thing about it is you got to be looking at your VIX. And you got to be looking at one word in options, implied volatility. Okay. So if you're selling a put on Tesla, let's say you want to hold Tesla and you like this zone. Now, selling a put is dangerous. So when you're selling a put, you want to usually have the actual cash to buy the stock. Guys, if you sell a put and you can't buy the stock, don't sell the put, all right? If you can't buy the stock, don't sell the put. So high IV is good for sellers of options. Sell call, sold put. A low IV is great for buying options, and that's what you're trying to probably do. You're probably trying to buy a put and profit off the downside. Unfortunately, high IV, especially on Tesla, gets wild. So we've got the volatility index here. You can see this is 22.6. This is a very high movement here in the VIX, 15% up on yesterday's movement. And whenever the VIX kind of holds above 20, usually you see sustained movement. See how many times the weekly doesn't close. The weekly never closes above 20 in normal times. All of 2019, every spike was just met by an instantaneous sell-off. Now, we did have a sustained sell-off, and the teller here was every time there's a sustained sell-off, the teller is the VIX closes on the weekly above the 20. Look at this. 20, bang. We're hitting the knowledge bombs today, guys. We're hitting the knowledge bombs. 20, bang. 20, bang. No 20s. No sustained sell-off during those periods either, if you have a look at them. This one, anomaly. This one, anomaly. No, I'm just talking basically about what's happened recently. So, look, in the past, you used to get the VIX through quite a few times. You'll see here, 2013, 2014. Let's go back actually to a similar time, though. Let's go back to 2010, 2011. So, where's our 20? 20's here. So most of the time, there's our first sustain that happened in April. So that's the same period that we're talking about right now. We got that sustained VIX and the market continued to sell off even though the VIX started coming down. The market was turbulent for quite a few months. So I actually do think that somewhere around this 20, if we can hold above it, we will start to shoot for further lows. So today will be very interesting. Go to the daily. You'll notice also the daily didn't hold up either. So the daily didn't hold up last time. I'll be looking for a hold of the VIX above this level. Welcome to the 1,604 viewers as well. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us today. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button. Always helps us out. And, of course, subscribe through there. Derek 4 with a million zeros. Hong Kong, $10. Harry, are you okay? Thank you again, Derek. That's a funny one. And then Michael super chatted 500 yen. Hey, Tom, could you have a look at Facebook? Certainly could. It's a stock that I think could go down with the tide, but at the same time be very good potential in the future. So Facebook had, I thought, pretty good earnings. Facebook and Google. I think we should look at Alphabet as well. So it's $300 today. It's right on the zone that you would expect to bounce. Now, when you're talking about the Nasdaq, we have to also go through some of the big stocks. And we have to see whether they're sitting on supports in the pre-market. So you'll notice here, $300, 194, right on the level where you expect buying pressure. That's actually 0.1. So we'll quickly go through these together. Let's do this. And I'll bring up a notepad. What's written on that? Okay, nothing incriminating. That's okay. And yep, I'll get rid of these things. And then we'll bring a notepad up. So we've got Facebook, okay? And we're going to put Facebook on support for the morning. And this is actually a pretty cool little technique. So Facebook support. What's another giant stock in the Nasdaq? Of course, we have Tesla. We will not call that support. So we'll call it down. All right. That is more of a down market. Let's now have a look at AAPL, because Apple is going to be another one that we want to look at. Is this on support or realistically more of a kind of downwards trajectory? So 119, 120, we would say a support. 124 is pretty close to a level where I expected some bounce, and then we've got nothing really else. Let's have a look at this daily 200. Hasn't hit that in a long time. Didn't act as support. So we'll call this one, I would almost say, because it's in structure, we'll call AAPL neutral. Okay. So what else do we have to look at here? Of course, we've got Google. So we'll use Alphabet. Obviously, is the code. Alphabet. Oh, did I not do... No, I did do Digital Turbine. That's all good. So Alphabet. We'll just use this code, doesn't matter. So where is this pre-market? Looks like 20, that's got to be wrong. So I'm assuming it's going to open somewhere around down here. So I'm going to call this one on support. I think it's going to open right around there. I very much doubt that that's the real pre. So I'm going to say that Google is basically on support coming into the open. It's going to be similar to Facebook right around that 2240. If we have a look at our Weeble, we could probably just bring it up through here. Let's have a look at Alphabet. Pre-2-3. So if we go back over 2-3. Okay, so it's just in the middle of nowhere land, if that's true. I still think it goes here. So we'll call it close to support. Then we have Microsoft, and we want to have a quick look at Microsoft because if we think about another big stock, where is Microsoft? Is that correct on pre-market? Damn, that's strong. So 245, yeah, it's right on support as well. So a lot of these big ones, they've all sold off. So we have to think how big, Microsoft equals support. So how big are these companies, and do these kind of companies matter to the Nasdaq? All of the big ones are kind of on support. Everything else, like the hyper stonks, they've been beaten through, and they probably deserve a bit of a pull up today. So everyone thinks there's blood in the streets right now. The question is, will it be sustained? We're at 13,096 on the Nas. So I have this feeling that the Nasdaq's going to kind of like plow into like a 13,000 flat through today's session and then bounce off that level. Something like that's what's going to occur. And it's just because we're already down around 7% with very little recovery on the Microsoft, with very little recovery on Facebook, all of these just selling off continuously. So if we think about this US 100, we probably hit like a 13,000 flat round number and then just go bang. And the same thing plays out as it usually does. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, test the 13.3, 13.4 level as resistance, and the sellers come back in. So if you're wondering where to sell, it's going to be somewhere around that zone. If you're wondering if you want to buy the falling knife, obviously you've got to do your own analysis. But that's the kind of thing that we kind of think will happen. Amazon, yeah, I hadn't got round to it yet. So let's have a look at Amazon. 31.25. Is that even a zone? I call that fairly neutral because we're in structure. So this 31, what was this? The body closures here were around 31, 35. Yeah, it's pretty much in support. So again, another one that I believe is very close to where people will start to buy it. And look at the sell-off that's occurred on Amazon. A great earnings report here, actually down 12%. Almost bargain. Almost bargain considering, remember, Wall Street just a few weeks ago were updating this and they said, oh, 4,000, 4,200, 4,500. It's funny how it works like that. And we see these levels. So I think all of these big FANG stocks, they're all kind of hitting these levels. I don't really care too much about Netflix because it's just going to be in its own little world of doing whatever. But yeah, they are holding it. They are very close. And the only one that's really bearish on the big tech stocks in the Nasdaq is going to be that Tesla. Interesting stuff. Sherlock Holmes says, buy the dip. Yeah, I mean, it's right around there. John S. says, can you do the Russell downside target? Yes, we'll have a look at that. Burn says, I agree. Wall Street doesn't want to push the prices too deep. Not too quickly. Not too quickly. It's all the momentum. It's all about this flow of steal the money from the poor, make them think it's all good, steal it again, make them think it's all good. The thing that was very surprising about last year's market, actually to me, was that we never had the double dip. So in almost every single market crash, you get an instant recovery, which is very fast, and then you see a double dip. And there's only one sector that I can really show you what a double dip looks like. This is a classic double dip scenario, okay? And it only happened on one index, or not very many indices. ZOM here, energy, of course, ExxonMobil. This is actually what generally I would have expected to occur in the market. A huge sell-off, obviously panic selling, followed by a huge reversal in the actual stocks, being energy in this case, and a double dip. And the double dip's designed to get all of the money taken out of the market. Now, the problem with last year is the Fed underpinned the market. They basically put a sugar pill under it, and companies just got so much money. The tax, the huge amount of stimulus that came through worldwide, that created no double dip. This was a special case scenario because, of course, the pandemic. However, this is what you usually see. So next time around, I don't even know. I think we'll see that for sure, but I don't think the recovery is going to be anywhere near as fierce. When we get that next big crash that goes through the market, it will not be held up by the market. It could be 10 years away, though. It could be a long time away. Tesla is the bargain of a lifetime, says 333 Nicob. Interesting. It's all about the algorithms of selling, says Truly Messiah. Pretty much. It's all about those algorithms and the way that they do things. You'll notice here nothing is safe in today's market, though. Everything is down. Nvidia, Anon San says, yeah, let's have a look at Nvidia. Is Nvidia coming down to a point of any kind of value? 550. See, again, another one that should be technically right around where you expect buying to incur. Not only is it a round number, 550 is $50. Previous kind of resistances, somewhere between here and 535, you're going to see pickups for Nvidia. Why? Because you got 200 simple moving average hitting here, previous resistance, which broke through, and it makes some sense. So we're getting zones. This sell-off will be met by buying pressure very soon. There will be some buying pressure. It's unlikely that it dumps another 3-4% from these current levels without having a pullback. But also be careful on that pullback. We looked at those levels very, very closely. Tesla, 12,000 by December. I can't believe you, Blummin. Sorry, bro. Jam Wit USD. Tesla is a hype stock. I'm out. Fair enough, man. Can you take a look at N phase? Yeah, we'll have a look at that one. AMD. Oh, I haven't looked at AMD. Do I dare look at it? Oh, my God. Oh my goodness. The reckoning day of hell is about to happen for AMD. This makes me think even more this market must rally now. If it doesn't rally now, holy moly. Guys, this chart scares me, and I'll tell you why. I think you can see why. Probably the crappiest of TA analysts out there in the world could draw the line that I've just drawn. And it is the Great Wall. It's where the White Walkers weren't able to get through in Game of Thrones. All right? I supported you guys. Where is it? 1 second. I think I've got it here. There we go. I haven't installed it, but I bought the Ryzen CPU to support you guys, okay? I haven't installed it because I'm lazy. But when I do install this, baby, and it's got 12 cores of power, all right? It's ready to be put in. And hopefully we can hold the line with that power. So it's still selling out. $74 is a huge amount of buying pressure. If this cannot push through, there is no market structure. I repeat, there is no market structure. And AMD's done this to many traders before, where it's busted through hideous lines like this and just completely collapsed. If you go back and have a look at previous times around, AMD stock is known for the pumpy dumpy on Wall Street, and I hope it isn't so, because I don't see any support for it till $60. And this probably is a great chart to be looking at if you think there's going to be a sustained sell across all of the Nasdaq. If this thing can't hold, yeah, I'm not feeling good about it. Not feeling good about it. Yikes, AMD lost 74.59 Inc. Exactly correct, Scott Garnham. Exactly correct. This is a bad looking chart. Very scary. And you know, it gets even worse because when you think about it, what is this? It's a gigantic head and shoulders. Now, gigantic head and shoulders never tend to work out, but the weekly is going to make it more clear. And I'll give you a hint. The easiest way to find a head and shoulders in the market, line chart it. Do you see how much clearer that is? And there's some properties of this head and shoulders that are even better. So one of them is the left-hand shoulder is higher than the right-hand shoulder. Now, for anyone that's done our course, and you can check out our course below in the description if you're interested, you'll know that this is very, very important, because when you're looking at it like this, and it becomes more clear, the right shoulder should always be lower than left shoulder. Why? It shows momentum in the direction of the break of that head and shoulder. Then you can proof it as well. So if you want to just use a line chart, you can actually proof this, and you can proof the distance, okay? And the distance should line up relatively well with where the market structure is. Now, if it does, it proofs the structure, it proofs the thought concept and the psychology of the market, which means the nasty Wall Street algorithm demons will be in on it as well, and they'll be pushing in that direction. I hope for AMD holders that it can find buying pressure today, because if it can't, and this candle was where it all started. That was a horror. That candle sucked. For bulls, that was the worst. This looked great. This looked great. Earnings was pretty good, I thought. And then just bang, straight through. Verified News says, I prefer line charts. Yeah. Rocktopus says, I've got a buy order for AMD around $50 to $60 set. Fair enough. $60 is a very solid zone on this one. Okay, so we've got some other donations coming in here. Let's just quickly answer them. Dispor, $5. XX I guess, 1 hour. Tobacco and hemp GMO. XXII. Is that right? What? This? Is this it? 22nd century? Health technology? I guess. 1 hour you want, all right. I see it, man. Cool. Well, I think you've done the right type of analysis here. I mean, obviously it's pre-marketed in a pretty hideous market today, but yeah, this is correct. So you've analyzed a key resistance that's been hit triple time on the 1 hour. 1 hour is not going to be a significance daily, weekly, but yes, it's good. 1 resistance, 2 resistance, 3 resistance, breakout, retest, 2050. On any normal day, that's a good looking trade, and you're completely correct. The market might brutalize you. However, yes, you're right. 2050 acting, those 2 slithers are acting as a great level of dynamic support. And then, of course, you've got your resistance being broken, which should now have further sequence through. So I quite like the price action stuff that you're doing there, Dispor. Let's go to the daily quickly. Even that recovery is good. You're back above that 426 level. I hope it works out for you, man. But today's market might be the one that brutalizes you. You've also got even a trend line that goes through these last kind of wicks here. Very cool. I've got Verified News. Dave, $5. What do you think of NASD closing lows and not opening up a little, gapping from lows? All right, let me see if I can break that one down for you, Dave. NASD. Okay, so it closed. What is this? So it closed on lows, it gapped, and then today it's gapping from lows. I don't really think much about gapping. I think people get caught up in this gapping concept too much. We're in a worldwide market. So worldwide market is, you're going to see a lot of trade through the futures sessions. We've got more hours on the back end, the pre-market like right now, and then the aftermarket. So I think you do see a lot of trade, which changes things. Look, for me, gapping really means not too much in the stock market because it closes and opens. Where gapping makes sense is when you're looking at candlesticks. So if you see like something like this, so candle comes down, gaps lower, makes a really small kind of candle like this, gaps higher, and then makes a bullish engulf like that, or a bullish movement like that, that is a very strong buy signal, okay? You can look up the pattern. Guys, you know what this is? You should know what this pattern is. But this is a great gap. That's how I use gaps. I think about it from a psychological standpoint. If it's gapped down, what's that telling us? Market's weak, and over whatever happened over that period, the market has actually weakened through. It's then had a very small, remember, it's a very small movement. And that small movement means that something's going on. This can often be accompanied by huge amounts of volume. So there actually might be a lot of volume that goes through at this point. Then you get that gap above. And when you get that gap above, what's this showing us? There's bullish intention, and that bullish intention also follows through to a very large candle. So that candle really proves to us that this was a false low. There's gaps both ways, and the gap bullish is incredibly important. This 52.25, it's right on support. I don't think too much about it. Obviously, had double top up here. It tested, beat down, straight down to 52.25. Should hopefully hold somewhere around this support. Maybe find some buying pressure right here. So, yeah, NASD, that's my thoughts on it. Triple T Rock, Super Chat, $5. I'm that tell boy, but never sell boy, hodl. Oh, okay. He's trying to rap with me. I'm that tell boy, the never sell boy. Hodl is the model. Sipping for loco out the bottle. Cheers off to my dumb job to buy my dumb coins. You the best, Tom. Okay, I missed that last bit. I thought we were done with that. Triple T Rocks, you've always got great super chats. I got to get in the lingo from you, man. You always keep giving me these raps or hip hops or whatever, and I fail for you. I'm maybe not the best singer in the world. Talcoin is what he's talking about. So he loves this thing. He's obviously on cloud 9 about when he bought it, and he did alert the room to it. So he was down. I'll show you where Triple T Rocks was, okay? He's down here. He's down here, guys. So why do you think he feels so good about the world? Because he's YOLOing in down here. And then it goes like this. And he feels very, very good about it. So this coin has obviously been very, very interesting recently. Do you think short squeeze is coming? I think that the market probably does return back down to somewhere around these lows, like these 12.7 and 12.3 on the Nasdaq. I felt that for a little while. We talked about it in our videos, obviously covered it quite a lot. The sell in May kind of concept, and the fact that the market was realistically doing exactly the same thing that it did back in 2010. We've been following the same model. I mean, I've been basically just carbon copying the concepts from 2010, 2009. And people say, oh, Tom, it's different this time. So you explain to me one thing. I follow government money, okay? Government, if I was to say one rule of thumb, one rule of fundamentals, what spends lots of money is very, very guaranteed and unlikely to remove money quickly. Government money. It's the easiest money to track. So if you follow government money and you followed stimulus, that's the kind of way I think about it. Now, someone asked me today what I think about the Australian budget. I'll probably release that tomorrow and my thoughts. But yeah, the Australian budget is very good towards like under $5 billion companies. It's very good towards certain industries as well. And you got to understand that. And from that top-down fundamental, you can actually just invest in entire indices. TTD, please, Tom, says Amdeep Singh. All right, we'll have a look. Tail says raps or hip hops, lol. That's right, the raps or the hip hops. But a gap after such a big day down isn't positive. No, it's not. But it's never positive whenever you see a gap down, but I don't think too much of it. I see that a lot in the materials market. BHP, Rio, they sometimes go like big bullish, big bearish, gap down, big bullish again. And it depends on the industry or the stock that you're trading. If it's a material, it could just be the London exchange and the US markets and the fact that it's a globalized kind of trade. Speaking of metals and everything, let's have a quick look at the dollar index. So you would expect this to actually be bulling. Nothing seems safe in this current sell-off. So the dollar index is continuing to weaken here. It's actually 90.073. If it's going to find any buy pressure, it must find it now. Otherwise, it breaks below this 90 zone and the dollar actually goes back down to 89.27. Usually a market sell-off is met by dollar strength, okay? So the weakness happens where the market sells, the money goes somewhere, and the money comes back into US dollars, and then of course moves on into the other stuff. That is not occurring currently in this session. So we'll see whether the hold of the support happens. If it closes below here, I actually think the dollar is going even weaker, and it will go to 89. The best teller here is to go to the monthly to show how significant a fall could happen if we got through like this 89 zone. I actually think the dollar index could get crushed all the way to 84. So it'll be very interesting trading over the next couple of months. And this will be if the US requires way more stimulation, which is, I think, what the market is thinking. Let's now have a look at a few other things. We've got gold here, 1832. Not too interested in gold just yet. We've had that great move out which we covered a lot on this channel. We hit our 1825. I still feel like somewhere around here we should get consolidation or a bit of a sell-off. We're very far away from moving averages now. Like, even have a look at this. Go to the 8 hour. Look how far away we are from the 20. I'm thinking swing trading gold. So I could see it coming back down, hitting something like this, even hitting 1800, and then buying off that level. Remember, if the market keeps selling, gold actually does come with it at some point. Silver still holding up again. Failed just before 28, and it's just going to kind of hover around this zone until the next big move. IWM, Russell 2000. We'll move over to that index before we have a look back over our thoughts for today. Of course, we've got 34 minutes till this market opens, and things are looking pretty brutal. 1.11% down US 500 and 13,100, 1.66% down on the Nasdaq so far. So IWM 214. I don't really see support for IWM at 214 too much. Could it bounce if the rest of the markets do? You would think it's more likely around this 210. I don't really do too much analysis on the Russell. I just trade it if I feel like it's worthwhile trading it. At this point, yeah, I just really got a 210, and I can't say much good about it at 215. Every $5 is a thing for the Russell, but yeah, just 210 is kind of where I've got the support there, guys. Let's have a look at TTD here for, who was it? Somebody. The trade desk came out yesterday with a really bad, well, I didn't read its earnings report, but obviously the market didn't like it, and it fell straight to 500. This company never made any sense to me, I must admit. So Advertising Marketing Services, the Trade Desk Inc., and it went ballistic. Was this like a favored retail stock? I mean, I never talked about it much on this channel, but boy, oh boy, was it highly priced, and it certainly fell a lot. I mean, it's down over 50% now in the pre. I don't see much support for it unless it should have held at 500. Now that we're at 466, maybe it goes down to 412. So right around here. I think a lot of these big hyperstonk kind of plays, they're coming down deep. It's kind of like a brutal sell-off from the tech bust. So during the 2000s, if you go look at it, this is the type of thing that happened. You had these big euphoric runs, and of course the entire tech market just got obliterated. Most of the companies going down like 80% through that run, and the S&P 500 took a long time to recover because of that. Yeah, I don't really feel too strong about the trade desk. If I was trying to catch this, which is a falling knife, guys, get the knives in the chats. This zone here, I'd be looking for trough, peak, high, trough, high, peak. I want to see literal significant structure formed on the market. Even if it comes down, hovers for a while, and then breaks out. That's how you tell when a market breaks out and a market's looking better. So if we have a look at, I haven't even looked at this stock, but let's have a look at Wells Fargo, a hated bank. All of a sudden, not hated as much. So it comes down, obviously hovers around for a while, declines even further, and then starts sequencing up. Now, if you actually look at other banks like JP Morgan, let's have a look at JPM. Not SPM, JPM. Okay, JP Morgan. What you'll notice is that the market kind of destroys itself, has huge amounts of volatility in it, goes up with the sugar high in June, comes back down, dips again, and then until, notice how when it broke through this 104, it went on a heater like no other. Because when it did this, what it did was it said, okay, we've found our base. We clearly have thought about this level. You've also got, of course, a massive bit of news coming out at this time, and that signaled a huge bullish momentum. But I wouldn't have taken anything here until I saw that. Now, in Australian stocks and Australian banks, it was the exact same catalyst. Every single one of them went from doing this to boom, it's up. And there was a few sequences here. Higher lows. Very important. Volume increasing across the board. That's the type of thing you want to see in a stock that's gotten beaten and moved through. Let's have a look at Roku. That's another one that's a lot of people are in. Roku has me scared if it closes underneath. I mean, 300 was the last holy kind of level for Roku. And again, you can see this sell-off. This is the steps down, recovery, steps down, Ooh, brutal kind of level. It's the same for my Square, guys. Like, I mean, where's Roku going? 236? I mean, that would be horrible, but it's the reality. I still think a bounce could be in order through this session, though, if we get a little bit lower at the start. Let's have a look at Square, down 7.25% yesterday. Now pre-market 205. How important is 200? I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to look at this and say, okay, if I'm looking at this stock, 200 is the level. If it gets under and breaches 200 and closes under there, Square could literally drop 50 bucks. Do I like Square? Yes. Did I look at the earnings? Yeah, I think it's okay. It's definitely much better than quarter four. Quarter four was terrible. I don't really know how the stock moved so heavily after quarter four earnings. But yeah, it was much, much better. But $200, I mean, you can see it here. Look at what happens when stocks get through that point. Let's have a look at TDOC, for example. TDOC breaches the 170. Obliterated right now. 133 in the pre-market. 133 in the pre-market. That's actually under March levels of last year. So that's under actually before the pandemic hit the market. That's how low this stock really is right now. If we think about other stocks that are down in these levels, let's have a look at Cloudflare, for example. Cloudflare, 60. If it gets under 60, very bad for it. It doesn't really matter which hyperstonk you look at. They've all got these key levels of support that they're hitting right now. And if they get through, things like Palantir happen. And Palantir, instantly, as soon as it got underneath that zone, look at the sell-off that's occurred. Very brutal. In fact, if we go and have a look at a 4-hour, there it is. First 4-hour down. Have a look at a daily. First daily down underneath the 21 zone. And it's been all selling since then. And now we're opening at a 1664. So these supports matter a lot in this market. These matter a lot. NNDM, when you get a chance, we are getting beaten. I'm sure there's plenty of stock. Tesla is dying. PayPal, please. Actually, let's have a look at PayPal. Interests me because of the Square kind of thing. PayPal's a little bit healthier. It's kind of like Square. They're all getting to the level. But the market better turn around here. And like what we were saying, some healthy stocks with good earnings. PayPal, Roku, Square. They are pretty healthy stocks. All of these are at critical support. We did our numbers before, and we had a look at some of these stocks. I didn't put Amazon in there. But Amazon, support. So these are our stocks. So we've got Tesla is hard. Facebook support, Apple's kind of neutral in market structure, Google's around support, Microsoft's around support, Amazon's around support coming into today's session. So if they're all sitting at that point, then surely we're about to see only maybe another 100 points off in the Nasdaq with a little bit of a bounce. That 2 steps down, 1 step back up. Michael Davis says it's either DOT or ADA is how I think this plays out. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Michael. Probably something to do with the question. Yeah, PayPal, I could see it going down to like a 230, 228. Hit the daily 20, and you better hope this holds. This should be the zone that it holds off, and hopefully it can start rallying again. Again, these companies are good companies. It's like SE. You know, a lot of people don't talk about this one enough. I'm coming around to this idea. SE is a pretty big play in Southeast Asia. Pre-market 211. Could this go much lower? Another healthy-ish company, $200 seems like a very decent support. Daily 200. So it's flashing out a lot of people. A lot of people are feeling pain. This is the area. Dollar index breaking below 90 as we speak, says Dave. Yeah, it's right on the 90 at this point. Government now have full control over the markets, says James Hess. Pretty true. What stocks do you recommend to buy today at bargains? You know I can't recommend. I would say that if you're looking at specific stocks that you want to hold, it depends on your time frame. If you want to day trade them, then probably none, because what you're doing is you're trying to buy falling knives. If you're trying to invest in them, this is the kind of day where you've got to decide what type of investor are you. Are you a trader? Are you a scalper? Or are you an investor? And if you're an investor, really all you're doing is finding key levels. You say, I love the fundamentals in that, and you buy it. So you've seen many big stocks are hitting supports. We saw Facebook. We saw Google, we saw Microsoft, all those stocks. Amazon was hitting support. Now, is a trader, however, won't do that because you need high statistics. Catching a falling knife is, what's the point? All you're trying to do is you're trying to capture a small little slither. So to capture a small slither, and again, we teach this in our course, the idea is that you're looking for the lightning bolt. You're looking for the market structure and the breakout. This is the higher probability zone for you to be in. When you see structural return, if you're not seeing that, all you're doing is catching a falling knife, and you can't hold on as a trader because you're only meant to be in it for a day or a couple of days as a swing trader or something like that. So you don't want to be holding them and turning them all into your investments. You know what I mean? It's totally different. Nikhil Sharma, $100 there. Hi, Tom. Could you please check Indian Hotels Company, NSE, please? Yeah, I'll have a look at it for you. NSE. What is the actual company? Is it called Indian Hotels Company? Oh, on the NSE. Okay. So Indian Hotels Company. IND Hotels. This one's totally bucking the trend, isn't it? Surprised, actually. Yeah, it's a full breakout that's occurred just there. So you've got here this 114.45. You've closed above through today's session for whatever reason. I don't know about the fundamentals on that. Looks really good. So that does look strong. It's actually an inverse head and shoulders. You can see here the right shoulder also is coiled. So if you go down to like a 4-hour chart here, it's going to be quite strong indeed. Yeah, really, really, really nice. Paul Nanny upgraded the membership to Diamond Hands. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate that. Make sure, of course, to link it with our Discord community. By the way, guys, if you want to join our Discord, public Discord, !Discord, chuck that in the room right now for you. !Discord. Join the public one at least. If you want to join the private or find out more about it, you can do so there. So, guys, we're about 22 minutes away from the market open. We know it's going to be a bloodbath. We know that the Nasdaq is on its knees and it's going to close, or it's going to open pretty low. The question is, does it go down another 100 points and then recover? And that's the 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Let's think about even the actual amount of sell-off that first occurred, and then take that distance and extrapolate that out again. And I like doing this because what this does is it really shows us whether the market is doing the 2 steps forward, 1 step back. In fact, most markets will leg in very similar patterns. Now, a lot of you guys will know that out there. Let's have a look at the QQQ. Load that kind of concept up. So the decline here that occurred, and then load that with the next level. So this would actually be causing it to go to around a 317. And we're right around there in the pre right now. You'll see 318.89. So it's calling like a 318 flat on the next move before recovery. Remember, from top to bottom, we have this move. From the next move, we have around that 318. Another reason why I think it makes some sense. Now, it gets crazier because I bet you if we take this distance back, I haven't done this, by the way. Let's just see what happens. And then we extrapolate that out. Does that come back into support? Ooh, not quite. So often when the market comes down this move, it will also return in a very similar move. And it makes it very easy for us to actually technically analyze the third move. Because if they both come back the same distance, and then they both go down the same distance, the third leg will be the same concept. However, the third leg, and I'll repeat this, is 80% of the other ones. It's never 100 because everyone knows. And all the big TA and all the big guys, they do that. They see the pattern and they take their profit off on 80% of the next move. It's pretty cool. What do I think I know about, oh, sorry. Alan says, what do you think about Alibaba Baba? I don't like it. I don't like it. I haven't really, it kind of, all these stocks kind of annoy me. I mean, if I even look at JD, let me have a look where JD is. I don't have them. I mean, look at JD, 68.38. This thing, just to put it in perspective, these Chinese tech stocks are just, they're getting brutalized. Like, this should be doing really well. It's $68, guys. $68 puts us about here. If we think about this company and how well it's doing over Barber in many ways, because of course Barber got punished kind of by the government, it's yeah, I mean they're almost on fire sale, but there's a lot of risk to holding these stocks, and that's why Wall Street have not been picking them up. Is Barber worth a look? I think there's others on just as much sale right now that maybe don't have the political risk. But yeah, Barber's very close. I mean, 212 is exactly where it bounced off next time. Again, it is an investment kind of concept versus a trade kind of concept. They pull at about 60%, we pull at 50%, and so on. But if everybody knows that they will pull at 80%, why not pull it? No, because everyone thinks 100%. The only people that... The traders take at 80 or around 80. Most people try to take the whole distance. How many people would not take the whole distance? Most people do. So it's more about that you're looking for something. You're looking for a move and you're realizing I need to take it a little bit earlier. And you'll see it. Go through and do some analysis. Find 2 sequences. Look at the third sequence. It'll always be shorter than the previous 2 sequences, but it'll still be quite predictable. Let's just quickly go through crypto because we didn't even do it. We'll just quickly go through it very, very quickly. So 4 hour, 8 hour, if you're looking at Bitcoin, all you're really doing is just still 60,000 on the buy side and around 53 on the sell side. It's recovered a little bit so far right through here. Once you get a closure above those zones on the 8 hour, let's have a look at the 8 hour. This will be pretty significant. Buy wick, buy wick, buy wick. I'm looking for a close or at least a move above 56.5, and then that will probably signify we go back to the 59-ish kind of zone. And that's just because so many wicks. Now, if you bust through these wicks, close under here, unfortunately, all the way back down to 46K town. I really feel like you can take the distance almost between these two, extrapolate that out either way. So you either proof down here or you proof to a new high, either or. So that's my feeling there. The rest of the coins kind of all just chasing around on it. ADA's had a good recovery. DOT still a bit behind on recovery. Big sell-off through the session. Link, there's some other beneficial kind of shares there. BNB is also another one. So there's plenty of coins out there, but I think today is really more about the stock market. So guys, it's that time. Let's dial in here coming into the market open. Thank you so much to the 1,880 viewers joining us. I'm sure we've got over 500 likes. Yes, we do. Thank you so much. Like it if you are enjoying the stream. And let's get a little bit of hype ready because I think we need hype today, guys. This is a brutal day. It's going to be bad. A lot of people's accounts, unfortunately, may margin if they haven't got bought puts or some kind of protection in, or at least good risk management. So we'll load up a little bit of hype. I think we need it. And guys, as always, pick your stocks right now. We need 2 slots. What do you want to watch into the market open? US 100 and SP 500 have been taken by me, but the rest are for you, the community. Pick which ones you want. J-Rock, you never stop, man. Very good. All right. I'm feeling a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just a smidgen, okay? Neo. Roblox. It's going to be Tesla. Yeah, it's going to be Tesla. We know it's going to be. It's always Tesla with you guys. Tesla never doesn't win. It always wins. So we'll have US 500. We're going to watch that on the 5-minute chart. Let's get that thing down and dirty. All right, we're down and dirty with the US 500 and the US 100. Let's refresh this one as well. Alt-R, by the way, in TradingView if you're interested. If you're interested in this program, click on the link description down below and you'll be able to get access to it. And it's free, but you can pay for the service. A little bit of recovery now on the US 100 there. Let's load Tesla. My God. 588, 15 minutes to go. And then the last one, you guys will decide. We've got PLTR, we've got JMIA, we've got the VIX from Sarah Jane, Tesla, VIX. Is that the same person? I think it's just you, Truly Messiah. Neo. We might have a look at Neo for you guys soon. Tesla and Apple. Neo. Really? We're going to have Neo? My God. I think Neo might have won. It's car companies. 31.40. Ooh. God, do we really want to look at this, guys? That's nasty. Oh, no. Neo traders. I feel bad. I'm going to click it. Oh, God. Yeah, that's bad. If it closes down here. Hope and pray for a rally like last time. Remember when that rally happened? And it went down to like 32 and it rallied all the way back through? Let's put this in perspective here on the daily. PLTR is another one. Oil. Yeah, we'll have a look at oil in a minute. So here is the support. Blatantly clear, here is the support. And it's way through the support right now. 8.71% down. Oh, man. 31, 34. What is going to happen here? I don't even know where it goes because the biggest issue is you got very little structure. I mean, this thing rocket shipped up and now it looks like it's rocket shipping down. It's even got a really bad feel to it. 31 bucks. Could it go to 20? Could it go and stop around 30? It's a significant break. This is like kind of like AMD. I mean, you know that 20 is going to just find buyers. You also know every $5 is going to find some buyers. So 20, because it's retail driven as well. So yeah, just around 30, probably buying support, then 25, then 20. I think 30 and 20 are the most likely candidates. It's not a good one. I'm not even sure if I would like take this distance here and extrapolate that out. Let's see what that price is. Doesn't proof anything really. So I wouldn't use it. Yeah, it's not good. You need a rally right now. Hopefully if it comes through and it rallies back above 34.50-ish zone, that will be quite strong for it. Nasty day today, indeed. PLTR is just, it's bad. Is Kathy being targeted? You'd almost think so. Let's actually have a look at ARK-K. So ARK-K really getting wrecked. Look, I think Wall Street, let's put ourselves in the perspective of Wall Street people, okay? So you're sitting there and you're managing $100 billion or whatever, and then you get these phone calls. I want to take my money to ARK. I'm going to invest in ARK. Stuff you with your 10%. I saw ARK make 300%, and you were telling me to buy JP Morgan and Wells Fargo. I'm sick of those companies, all right? That's probably what's happening. A lot of people were doing that. Remember, she was a rock star. And I've seen a lot of people come undone through the markets with great returns. I mean, one of the ones that comes to mind for me was LSF here in Australia. That was a stock, or what is now LSF, a code, that did very poorly on its list after having some stellar unlisted results. So if you think about ARK-K, and you were, say, just looking at this from a technical analysis perspective, and remember, this is not the way. You should never do your analysis really on ARK. You should do it on the stocks underneath. Here's the problem. It's $98 right now in the pre. I could see it at 90 from this perspective. $90. Is this taking a lot of the glamour out of her stock holdings? Absolutely. You know, this is really punishing her image right now with a lot of retail investors. I still think she's done quite well, and it's quite cool what she invests in, but yeah, it really is hurting her. Kay Kennedy, US $1 donation. Thank you so much. Mike Morgan says, can you smell what the stock market is cooking? Nice rock reference there. Mike Morgan, you must be a bit of a fan of wrestling. George Torres, Tom, we need the intro every 10 minutes, please. I don't know if we can do that, George, but we'll try. Neo is the only EV company you can pocket, says Sir Doge a lot. Sean Ewan says ETH. What about ETH, man? What about ETH? I think ETH is kind of at a pretty good zone. I mean, my best case scenario for ETH right now is about 4,700. Hit that 4,000. It's just kind of hovering around there. Looks really, really good still on a chart. But if you go down to something like a 4 hour, you can see that it's still holding the 4 hour 20. That's very important. It does so. I feel like it's kind of going to dip a little bit and money's going to start going into the big alts and the other alts. But what am I saying? You know, I don't really know 100% that's going to happen. I don't feel very strongly about the crypto market today. I think it's in the middle of nowhere land. So that's why I'm not really talking about it. It's all about the tech stocks. We've got our holdings here. Oh, look at this turnaround, guys. So the US 500 is going to open at 4140. NEO still looks bad. Tesla's going to open, it looks like. I think it's going to try for 600 almost immediately in the market. So the rally. Remember, 2 steps down, 1 step back. Where's our paper? Where's our pen and paper? Yes? We've done some analysis here together. We're feeling some supports on the big companies. AMD needs your support. In fact, I'm scrapping NEO, guys. I'm making an executive decision. We're going AMD because it's more interesting. 8 minutes. I know you guys love NEO, but I think that's already through and dangerous. I want to watch this AMD and see what happens here in the open. RK valuations, Tom. Look at where RK has come from for 12 months. Yeah, of course. The stocks they're buying, some of them are insane valuations. Will Enphase stick around 100 or drop to 70? So Enphase is a interesting kind of, I guess I've got them on my roof, like micro switch solar play. I don't know what else they do. Whole bunch of semiconductor stuff. So they're down at about 109, which is well underneath where they've been. They've, of course, been as high as 221. Another vertical stock that became very hot. I didn't quite understand how it got this crazy, but I know in Australia, they're not incentivizing solar right now. They're actually decentralizing solar, which is ridiculous. So they're actually saying, no, we don't want solar. Yeah, I think like $100 is probably where this thing ends up. This break of 140 was very significant, and we took the distance, if I remember rightly, and that brought us to 100. Yeah, I feel like 100 for this one. 100. So here comes the early rally. Anon says, buy all, have to get my charts ready. See, Anon, you can just, mute the stream, man. So you got to support. Just leave it muted somewhere hiding. Dictator Tom. It's probably true. Bit of a dictation there. AMD is the true cult stock, says Mike Morgan. Look, damn it. We support AMD here, all right, guys? We've got our Ryzen 5000. Very good. And I bought a good one. I didn't mess around. What'd I buy? 5900X, guys. I don't know if you can share these kind of codes. So I'll put it up here with the screen. See that? 5900X. We support AMD. I culted it. I'm watching commodities. Absolutely. Commodities are good. Platinum. How's platinum going? 6 minutes off the market open, by the way. Platinum got obliterated. All right. That's a bit sad. Lucky I'm not in this thing yet. Oh. Bit sad on my platinum. Oh, that was nasty daily. Oh well. We go back to waiting on this one, guys. We didn't get a nice daily breakout. We just got a nasty shooting star evil candle. That's okay. Let's have a look around the pre-market here. Let's click the buttons. Very little green, very big red. Not as bad as it was. So it is already starting to recover here. We've got Tesla down 6 now, 591. Got Square 5.19% down at 205. Okta, Roku, all of these ones. CrowdStrike 178. If you like some of these stocks, maybe they're starting to get thing. If you've got anything left, Snowflake 3.69, 186. I hate IPOs. I hate them. And that's why we don't buy IPOs unless you're already in the IPO and you sell it in the first week. You're like, goodbye. Look at Coinbase, guys. All these IPOs, it's like a scam. They come out in the US, and I remember Twitter, Facebook, you can look at any of them. Snap, doesn't matter what it was. And they go like this. Yeehaw! And then it's like, yeah. 18 months later, buy. 12 to 18 months later, very cool levels. So I guess we're right. I told you on Snowflake that I like the company, but I still think the valuation is mental, even at 186. Even at 186. There was almost a trade there for us a little while ago. So Tilray comes at 7.78 down. That's really getting beaten through. Mara down 13.44%. Where's Palantir? Palantir has improved, was down a lot more before, 17.27, 6.5% down. So stocks have improved through this pre-market quite a lot. Would you short QQQ if it bounces to around 325? I think that it's a fair level to look at for shorts. Basically, somewhere around this 325 to 328 level is probably... Wait, 32... Yeah, around 325. You're right. Yeah, 325, not this era. Yeah, 325-ish. So for the Nasdaq, that would be 13.4. Yeah. 13.3, 13.4 is kind of where I feel like it's going to pick back up to and then sell off from. You've obviously got to make your own decisions. What I usually would do is go into a smaller time frame and look for a sequence sell, and then you would sell off that sequence. Dave says, I wonder what wheat's doing today. No, don't you worry about wheat. Don't you worry about wheat. Okay, so the pre-market here for AMD is boring. So we'll go back to the Neo because it looks like Neo is more fun. 31.79 for Neo. We'll put the little support in because we know where it should be. And Tesla is certainly quite exciting. So let's check that Neo up. You guys voted for it. Even myself, Dictator Tom, I'm not going to dictate too much on you guys. 31.84, 3 minutes to go here. Catch IMA says, why am I watching this? Because you love it, man. That's why. Is Sundial still trying to be pumped? Hopefully not. Is it? 73 cents. They're not doing much of a good job at it. Yeah, Sundial, $4. Oh my God. Anyone that owns that at $4. My Baidu IPO down 38%. Unfortunate. Wheat is up 0.14%. JMI is fun, negative 24. Wheat is on fire, Tom, until the... Well, actually, it probably is just going to be on fire. Could be a short squeeze, though. Watch out. Yeah, I think, look, this market is going to most likely have a recovery in it. But remember, this could still be sustained. So we've got 2 steps forward, 1 step back. US 500 really shows us whether we're going bearish or not. 41.20, 41.20, 41.20. That's the most important zone. Remember to subscribe because we'll be making videos about it on the daily to talk about these real key areas. It's not about a 5-minute chart. It's about seeing a sequence on a larger time frame and then going into that participation phase. We saw how powerful the participation phase was for the Nasdaq when we broke through 13.3 last month. This time round, it's all about can we get under 41.20. And I would have a suspicion that there is going to be a little bit of buying here. Alec Lewis says IPOs are for suckers unless you get into them early. But yes, on day one, they are totally for suckers. Marvin the Martian says, use margin. They said, buy wheat futures. They said, don't worry about the roll. They said, that's right. That's right. So we're here 30 seconds away from the market open. I'll play the bell because you guys will be a little bit delayed. So congratulations for making it through to Tuesday here. We'll call it Bloody Tuesday because it certainly is on a lot of these stocks right now. But we're about to see it all blow through. Let's have a look at what goes on. 41.40 pickers for the S&P seem to be correct. And 600 for Tesla in the futures right then and there. Is this just Harry's buy zone or is it something more? 13.122 now for the Nasdaq. Here we go. My God. DXY spiking just a little bit, 91.58. So we're off to the races here. Tesla really contending with that 600. There'll be a lot of volume going through there. US 100 instantly came down with some selling. And then US 500, 41.38. We've got a donation coming here. Armin Armady, US $5. Was joking, Tom. You're not a dictator. Got muted. Love your videos and streams. I didn't mute you, man. Oh, you muted it. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for the donation, Armin. Appreciate your support as always. It's all good, man. It's all good. All right, let's load up this thing. Let's actually see the carnage that's going on. So first, we'll start with speculation stocks. How bad's the spec? So Mara, Riot Blockchain. Wow, it's really surprising to me they're down that much. It just shows how much froth is in the market. Possibly good pickups in the future if you feel like you want to trade some BTC style stuff. But I still think coin is actually not a bad trade. It's becoming better. The more FOMO, and they just added probably all the Doge and all those types of things. It's just insane. So let's go across to the screener. Again, it's a one-hit wonder. It'll be like for one earnings and then you bail on it. Let's have a look at what's going down right now. So we've got BioNTech, Airbnb, CrowdStrike Coin here down 5.41% to 277. It did hit that 250, 260 and instantly bounced off it. Maybe we'll take a look at that in a second. Zoom Video, my most hated stock. Where is it? Wow, 276. I haven't even looked at it in a while. Oh my God, I hate that stock. 275. Guys, you got big brains here on the channel community because you also hated Zoom. I could not understand why people were buying that at those exorbitant prices. And I guess it's being vindified right now. That was nuts. That was nuts. SE down quite hard. We've got Square down a lot as well, 3 point, but much better than it was in the pre-market. Much better. So they are all moving around. Here comes the US 100 back for a bit of recovery. Probably wants to go towards that 13.3. Let's see if we can get that through today. Tesla also 605. Remember, the first hour of trade means nothing. It's what really happens near the close that means something. So Doge a lot says 1 month chart. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at coin. Let's just discuss this for 1 second. So Evil Coinbase. My God, that was a sick trade, wasn't it? 260 all the way up to 300. What is that as a percentage? Damn, 14.5%. This stock has me, like, I thought down here, remember, we said, oh, we got such big brains, guys. 250, right on that level. It hits it, boom. Buy zone, because that's the level that everyone knew it was meant to launch at, and then it goes to some stupid level. I still think this is going to do very well with transactions. The amount of people in the crypto market here is going to be huge. And remember, is this actually a real earnings report coming out for coin? Is that a real earnings report? 13th? I didn't even know that. Interesting. It's got to do well. It's got to have so much transactions on it. Can you imagine how many people are just like bagging 10 grand in on some of these coins, not having any idea? Where do they go? They go to this company. Up here, insanity. Down here, still insanity, but much, much better insanity. It's going to look like it's got this like amazing amount of transactions, but then it is going to long-term have problems. As soon as the crypto market has a falter, it's going to fail. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Whoa. I just need to stop here. Johnny Knoxville, welcome to the Diamond Hands community, Johnny. Thank you so much, sir. We'll see you in the community very soon. Remember to link your YouTube and Discord. Make sure you do that a little bit later following the instructions. We also got Derek 4 with $1,000,000 Hong Kong $25. Hi, Tom. Can you describe how the fear index is traded and why people say it naturally deteriorates or something? Thank you. Okay, so I'm not sure what you mean by naturally deteriorates. If you're talking about buying like a VIX ETF, yeah, you get slaughtered holding those types of things. By the way, while I answer this question, what do you guys think about coin earnings? What do you think about coin earnings? Verified News says 15% on bid, up 10%. Cool. Looks like the smart money is buying up Tesla on the dip. Is that you, Harry? That's James Hess. Well, they were for a couple of seconds there. They were trying. I still think that around this level 600 is a very clear fight zone for the bulls and the bears. Tesla closed above 600. It's trying to show that it's not all bearish. Tesla blows through 600 and closes below. It really starts to expose 550, 500, 450. So it's a very important day for Tesla. Very, very important. Let's answer that question then for Derek. So if you look at any VIX chart and you think about any VIX ETF, all VIX ETFs will deteriorate over time because they have huge amounts of roll on the contracts, and therefore you'll get obliterated holding the positions, kind of like weak contracts from that aspect. The other thing about VIX is it's a volatility index that's smoothed across options over a period. So you probably want to go look at that in Google, just search VIX option, of how is VIX calculated, understand how it's calculated, and you'll know from that perspective that there's a high chance that the VIX will spike with fear initially, and then that fear will deteriorate because people become more used to the price. There's that initial shock that goes through the market that spikes all the options, because remember, it's derived from options price. That spike, all the Greeks, all the delta, the implied volatility spikes heavily, and then as it hovers around that same level, it's already pricing in a much larger fall. So as soon as the VIX spikes, it thinks it's going to continue to go down. So remember last year it spiked huge because it was just like drop. And then it slowly deteriorates over time as it starts to see price recovery or price stabilization. So I guess that's to answer the question there, Derek. That's what we're looking at. Coin will do well in earnings, says Joey NG. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll do well in earnings, and then I hate it again. Goodbye. I don't see how they're going to change their thing into a full wallet base, but maybe they will. A lot of people are pretty bullish on it. I'm not that much. I like it for something. Blabman says, my portfolio is green. Damn, congratulations, man. I think coin will surpass earnings more TPS than ever before, Jose says. Yeah, I feel like coin's going to do all right. Now I'm setting up for my put, says Dave. Well, congratulations, doing well this morning, Dave. So the US 100 is coming through with recovery as we suspected. It went a little bit too low there. We did our charting. We kind of guessed that a few of these stocks will be having problems. Neo traders expect 34 possibly to be hit this morning, and then sell-off will occur there. Again, Tesla's fighting a very heavy battle at 600 compared to other stocks. Let's have a quick look through some of the other ones. Let's go to Amazon. Got some text coming in here. What's going on here? Okay. 31.50, right around support for Amazon. Let's now have a look at AAPL. Yep. Exactly where we think it's going to find some buy pressure. Okay, that's fine. Let's have a look at Facebook. So that was 300, wasn't it? 301. Perfect. Right around the right zone. And then we've got Alphabet. Now, that wasn't quite at the zone that we wanted yet. Oh, no, it opened right where I thought it would. See, the fake market was, yeah, perfect, right on support. So, yeah, pivotal day here today, guys. Hopefully everyone does well. We've, of course, made it to the pre-market. I'll be doing a recap tomorrow morning on what the hell happens now and whether these levels do hold up. But I'm glad to have done this analysis with you because it is some of the things that I do. I don't just look at the Nasdaq support. I then go and have a think about some of these big companies because realistically, Apple, Google, Amazon, some of these ones, when they bust through or they bust down, it really punishes the Nasdaq. Whereas what we were seeing is a lot of the back end of the Nasdaq, we're actually hitting it up more than the front end. And here today, we are seeing that support. So two legs, let's watch the QQQ, let's watch the Nasdaq, see whether they recover back to those levels again. If we load up QQQ, this is the level I'm thinking it's coming back to, around this 325-ish kind of zone. That would be where I think selling pressure, somewhere around this level here, these previous resistances in here, will be where I think the selling continues. Let's see if it can hold up and go through today. Twitter nosediving. I'm sad unless I'm not. Actually, I wouldn't mind looking at Twitter. Oh, not that much, Johnny. Thought it might do worse. I still don't know who was buying up here. $80. Madness. But down here, much more interesting. Jack Dorsey, will he come through? What's this trend line? It's through that now, isn't it? Yeah. Twitter will continue to watch, and I'll alert you if I feel like it's looking a little bit better. Catch you tomorrow, guys. Thanks so much, and good luck today. Glenn says, thank you, Tom and crew. Your recent coverage of markets resonates with me. I started selling positions and taking profit during earnings season. Glad I did. Congratulations, Glenn. Now you've got to make sure that you're willing to pull the trigger again, of course. Frugaholic says, Kathy is very happy with the setup, lol, CNBC. Well, she's on CNBC right now talking, is she? Q, well done, Tom. Another good one. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Subscribe if you'd like to. See you tomorrow. Remember, if you want to check out our courses as well, link below, and exclamation mark Discord. That'll bring you into the public community. Let me just quickly get you guys in here now. Someone else has done it. Exclamation mark Discord. That's right. Come on in, guys. We've got to get this community to 7,000 people. We've got 50-something thousand on this YouTube. We need 7,000. I want to have a Discord community. That's the wording they use now, community. We need to get there. And we can only do it with your support. Oh, she was there on Friday? Yeah, I didn't read it. I didn't watch her video. I think it's better to make your own decisions using your charting kind of stuff, guys. If you can, think about things logically and empower yourself to make the better decisions rather than following everybody else's. I mean, obviously you're here following concepts we teach, but it's more about you empowering your own chart stuff. Remember that. Never rely on other people. Rely on yourself, because you're the only one that cares about yourself. It's just the truth. Everyone else